Damn. Another day. Took two losses today, guys. So let's start it off with a trade recap, going down about what these two trades were, why were they valid, why did we take them, or were they invalid? And we'll break it down what we've been seeing on the recent market over these past two trades, because market hasn't been playing out the best for us, or at least the setups haven't been performing the best. We're still up on the month though, up around 26-ish grand. So let's break it down. First trade we took, we had this insane move up. There wasn't really any valid opportunities except for, let's see. There wasn't really any, or else we would have taken it. So there's nothing valid. The only closest one seems like this one was also a valid one. I remember talking about this during the day with the Discord. The reason we didn't take it is because it's really close, really high up from the pivot point. Right, like for example, this is the pivot point. I ideally want to catch a momentum candle right at the start of this pivot point right here, so our stop losses is pretty low. But we'll go into one new thing that I've been seeing a lot happening in this recent market that could help us in our trades. So this was the next valid trade we saw. Again, every pullback there wasn't a valid momentum candle, and for a pullback we want to see at least two candles. And for a momentum candle, we don't want the momentum candle closing above the swing high. For example, in this case, this is the swing high, pullback. We don't want a momentum candle closing past it. We want it to close below it. So we're not asking much out of price whenever we do get our move. We're not asking it to go way too far past the swing high. Okay? So if you look back, there wasn't really any sort of entry criteria that fit those rules. Right? Those extra rules that you guys see me mention that aren't really... Oh, my camera is bright as hell. No, it's not. Those are some extra rules that you guys don't see me implementing as a set in stone rule for the strategy, but that's just something that's part of the experience that I've built based on the current market environment, right? As the market goes on, as new market environments evolve and start to change, I have to be ready to adapt to it and be able to potentially change if I see over a large number of trades that certain style of entries and certain kind of experience level criterias are not working as much. I should work on evolving them, changing them to fit the current market environment. For example, one of them we'll go into later is potentially adjusting our stop loss. I went all over the past trades we took this month and a little bit of last month and some other trades throughout different time periods. And I found that sometimes most of the plays do better when our stop loss is that instead of at the bottom of the candle that we entered off of, we can place it at the low of the swing low. In this, for a bullish setup in this case. For example, this is a swing, this is a uptrend, right? We had this pullback and then momentum candle. And normally our stop losses go at the low of the momentum candle that gave us our entry. But what I've been realizing is plays usually end up stopping us out and then going in our direction, at least for a decent handful of trades. Right, this isn't something that's going to be a set in stone rule yet. We're going to be possibly testing it out, seeing if it performs better, tracking our performance, as you guys should all do with your own strategies or with my strategy if you trade alongside me. So we're going to be seeing, does our strategy perform better when our stop loss is at the low of the swing low or swing high for a bearish setup? Okay, and the swing low would be this low right here. Put our stop loss at the lowest point there, and we put our target at the swing high or same 1-to-1 or swing high. In this case, that would prevent us from getting stopped out. And I did go over all the previous trades for the past week. A decent amount of the losses that were made could have been avoided and turned into a winner by doing this sort of shift. Okay, of course that does lower our profit because our risk to reward goes down for every trade if it's a winner already. But some trades are reduced profits, a handful of losses become winners, and very, very few winners become losses. The reason being is because let's say our trade is a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Let me just give this example. Is a 1-to-1. Actually, let's do this. It might make more sense. Let's say our trade is a 1-to-1. Let's say our stop loss is at the low of this candle. It's a 1-to-1. Okay. This would hit take profit. Okay, but if our stop loss was, for example, at the swing low, for example, let's just say our stop loss is down here, we had to do a minimum of 1-to-1, we would end up losing this trade because we'd get stopped out because price went in our favor, but it didn't go as far as our modified TP now, our minimum required TP. So very rarely you might see some winners turn into losers, but you'll see a handful of losers turn into winners. That's from my experience, right? I don't have a shit ton of data behind it. So that's why I'm not fully towards making this a rule. I need to get more trades in line before I make this a set in stone hardcore rule and make a shift. Okay, that's why we'll be monitoring to the performance, and this is why these are really, really helpful, because you can see how adapting to the market happens and how people actually adapt to the market live. You can see how I'm performing, how I'm actually going about it, how I'm approaching it, how my mindset is when I'm doing it, right? Because these times where you're potentially going on losing streaks, which we have been, right? We've been on like taking a loss. We took 2 losses here. I think we also took loss yesterday, Monday as well, but not Monday. Actually yesterday's Monday. Today's Thursday. I think we also took trades on Monday or something, and we lost one trade on that. I don't remember, but these are the times where your mental matters the most, right? Being able to follow your strategy, stick to your strategy. I know it might sound like I'm switching my strategy, but I'm not switching it. I'm preparing to adapt to it if it's the market conditions that are changing, okay? That's why we're still monitoring both performance as well. That's another thing you have to learn, is that you have to monitor both modifications, either the before trades that you are before the adjustment, and the trade styles that are after the adjustment. So you can see, is my adjustment actually making me more money? Is it performing better, or is it worse? Was it just something out of a short-term possible win streak or something? Or short-term possible like few trades that made it look like it would have been good to implement, but it's really not over a large period of time. So with that being said, let's go into our actual trades that we took. These are the 2 trades, happened literally both at the end of the, towards the end of my time window. We had our first trade. Let me get these out of the way so you guys can see. By the way, these are the trades that we took, the entries and exits and the P&L. Gotta show you, man. I gotta keep it transparent, show you guys that this is what trading is about. It's not winners every single day. It's losers and winners, but making more on your winners and ideally keeping your losers small. That's the goal, which we have been doing. That's how we're able to maintain still up 26 grand on the month. So that's really solid I would call that a really solid performance. So our first trade was off this momentum candle. Now, why is this a valid entry? Because we have a very strong up move. We get this pullback. Okay, this candle wasn't quite, it does look like momentum, but the wicks are a little large, and the way the candle was forming wasn't the best, so we didn't enter off it. That got stopped out. We entered off this next candle that was forming better. Strong green candle, a lot smaller wicks, literally almost no wicks. Enter off that, stop loss at the low of that candle, which is where we place it. The modified rule, where I would say we should test, is going to go under here, under this low right here, okay? And both cases end up getting stopped out, so we need to understand that. Both cases would have got stopped out in this play, okay? So, doesn't really matter. Both cases would have got stopped out. We'll still have that marked out like this. Okay, got stopped out right on the next candle with this black candle, open and straight dumpy to our TP. This trade saw absolutely no profit, straight to drawdown. So next trade, I'm still open to taking next opportunities, because sometimes we're just not able to cash that leg up on the right momentum candle. We can't always get it. So I'm still open to take another possibility for another move up. We got this entry candle, really solid. I like the strength of this green candle, really small bottom wick, a lot of buying pressure. Just had very, very little hesitation towards the last like few seconds of the candle. But that's still valid enough to me to trade, for me to get enter off of, because we saw the candle forming really strong as we were watching the candle form. So entered off that, stop loss at the low of the candle, and what do you know? It did go 1-to-1 in profit, right? I think it did. Yeah, hit 1-to-1 in profit, but we're targeting the previous swing high in this case for a 2.12 RR. Okay. We entered both these with one contract, and then stop loss was placed down here. But you could see this thingy, this mother flipper, liquidated us right here. Literally liquidated us, swept our stop loss, and pumping to our take profit, which is going to happen sometimes. If you guys were in the Discord today, you know I was like tripping out, but it wasn't tripping. I was just doing it as jokes to like make it funny, but like obviously these are the times where you it's going to be so easy to FOMO, want to re-enter, want to take more trades, want to force setups, but you have to understand there's times where it's literally going to hit your stop loss and go to your take profit, and you have to continue doing the same thing that you're doing and not change a thing. Not change a thing, right? Probabilities. I told you guys multiple times, especially in the A through Z series and on the Discord and on the live streams, to stick to the strategy and not change a thing, no matter what. Unless you see the strategy severely underperforming. That's the only times. Right? Just let it play out. Let it do its thing. Okay? It is what it is type of mindset. Unless things are significantly not acting the way they should be. In this case, this trade we hit our stop loss, hit our take profit, after that, whatever. Our stop loss, though, if it was down at the swing low, which we right here, right, because we got that mini push up, and then we got to pull down here, and then we got to push up till here, and then here we would have got stopped out. But since our stop loss goes at the swing low, our take profit's gonna be at the swing high. And now instead of a 2 RR, we're having a 1.2 RR. So I think we lost potential 1 R profit. So if we risk the same amount on this trade, we're now going to make double if we win. But on this one, if you risk that same amount, we're going to win, what's it called? A little over 1 R, almost 1.5 R, 1.3 R. Okay, so you gotta just keep that in account and also monitor that as well. In this case, our stop loss down here ended up working, hitting take profit, but that's not the trade we took. We took the one where our stop loss down here where it hit that and did not see any sort of drawdown after that and just straight up pumpied. So that's going to be the 2 trades we took. Like, nothing crazy. I'm still following the strategy. We're still up good on the month. We're taking lower size while we're on this losing streak until we see trades start to perform normally. And slowly, with time, we'll see the win rate come back. And if we don't see the win rate pull back, right, because we did really, really good since the start of 2025. We've been above, I would say above a 70% win rate. Towards the end, we're kind of see a correction in that win rate because on average, all of 2024, I saw the win rate being around 65%. Around 64, 65%. Since the start of 2025, we've been killing it. But now we're starting to see a decently long losing streak. I think this is probably the longest losing streak I've seen for a while, since 2025. And, you know, of course, it's going to be very tough on your mental. A lot of traders want people to stand through this, but this is the time where it matters the most. So you can see live in action how I'm acting, how I'm able to get through these losing streaks and handle these losing streaks so they don't get to my head and affect my trading performance or affect my trading decision-making, which is the one that matters the most, right? You got to make sure decision-making is on point, following the rules, following what you're supposed to, and not just changing shit up last minute, okay? So we're going to keep trading the strategy. If we need to, we'll optimize it. We'll refine it. We'll go back and analyze all the data, and we'll go through it, and I'll show you guys what that will look like. You'll see me progress through that, and you'll see what an actual profitable trader looks like, one that actually shows the process of refining and making their strategy perform better. All right? So hopefully you guys learned a thing or two about how to manage trades in a losing streak. Also, we have been seeing the trades hit a lot more after hours, and you guys might see that I'm using a 50 SMA, which is something new. One rule I've been kind of seeing that we can implement potentially, right, is a very soft rule. It's not a hard rule, it's a soft rule for now, is if price is able to hold above the 50 SMA doesn't have to be for a while, like the 200 SMA, just holding above it. Even if we close above it like this is also a valid trade. Okay, we were on live after on TikTok live demo trading, and I took this trade on demo. Reason is pullback. We started an uptrend again. We got a pullback again. Momentum candle really strong. Entered with that stops at the low of that candle, which is perfect. In this case, if this stop loss was at the low of the pullback, right, the low of the swing low, it would look like this. Stop loss would go down here. Very similar to the original stop, which is kind of that's kind of cool to have. If it's usually like that, that's a lot better. That's a lot better because the stop loss placements are similar. So you don't have to see a huge discrepancy. We don't have to be thinking like, oh, what if we just put our stop loss there, blah blah blah, whatever. So when the stop loss is when the candle is formed at the swing low, that's when it's kind of ideal because our stop loss is also at the swing low as well, pretty much at the swing low, and this played out very, very nicely. Okay, this was a demo trade. We did not take this live, or else you guys would see on the Discord, or I'll tell you on the Discord. We took this on demo on TikTok live, just playing around, seeing what the trades are midday, because I've been seeing a lot of good trend movement intraday at, after we get off. So it's kind of a good thing to keep in account. I'm just briefly looking at it to see if that's something I want to implement, right? You got to always be adaptive. You got to always be a learner in the game, right? I always preach, you got to be a student of the game. Profitable traders are not like done learning. It's not like, oh, I'm profitable, let me just sit back, click my button when I get it set up, and that's it, right? You have to constantly be learning and taking in information and thinking the same way a profitable trader would, thinking that same way that got you to that profitable trading point, right? If you're unprofitable, turning profit, and you turn profitable, you want to pay attention to what mindset did you have when you were turning profitable, and maintain that mindset, maintain it. And that's exactly what I need to do, and that's what exactly I'm doing right now. Maintaining that profitable mindset, right? keeping track of the markets, the market environments, my rules, my strategy, how's the performance, how's my performance mentally, my executions, everything, right? You can't just stop all the learning and stop all the prioritization once you become profitable, right? Because it's like a relationship. When you're going for the girl, like as a man or as a woman, when you're going for that other person, when you're pursuing that, like the significant other, whatever you want to call it, your boyfriend or girlfriend, you guys are both trying to like perform well for each other. You guys are trying to make sure you're like showing up, you're doing everything you need to as a girlfriend, as a boyfriend. And as soon as you guys stop putting the effort to be the high quality girlfriend or boyfriend, the relationship falls off. Right. And the same case goes with trading. Right. You have to make sure you're constantly doing your job as a boyfriend or as a girlfriend or as a trader in this case, to take into account of your rules, follow your trades, follow your setups, follow your plan, track your executions, monitor your performance, monitor your trades, monitor your rules, see how it's performing, and make analyses as you go by, as time goes by, and as you're noticing your performance change. Right? If it's significantly different, analyze what's going on. What's the reason behind this? Or am I taking the rules the same? Okay, good. Rules. I'm taking the same strategy. Perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. And if I'm not taking the rules or not taking the trades that I'm supposed to, there's probably something that needs to work on in terms of psychology. And yeah, in terms of psychology, because the rules are the same. I'm just not taking the rules. I'm taking random setups. So I need possibly have the rules written out so I can literally see them every single day, every single time I want to trade, so I don't make that mistake. Okay. There's many questions that need to be asked. This is why learning how to trade takes time, because it takes experience, trial and error to figure out what are the right questions to ask and how do I answer them and what are the right answers for it. Okay? So, quick little lesson on how to handle losing streaks as well, and how to handle losses, and a strategy that was once profitable and probably doesn't feel profitable is that whole section that we just talked about. So hopefully you guys learned a thing or two from that and gained some value. If you have any specific questions, let me know down in the comments. We'll get to it as soon as possible. With that being said, I'll see you all in the Discord community. Peace out, everybody.